Theresa, here to do another origami lesson for anybody wanting to watch. Today we're doing the flower. It's a nice little iris. You can also make a lily out of this, and I'll show you how to do that as well. We're going to do this one today, and then I'll show you how to do stems if you want, and then you can make a bunch of flowers. So, first off, colored side down as always. We're going to fold it in half into a hot dog, just like that. And we're going to fold it in half into a hamburger shape, just like that. And we're going to open this up and we're going to flatten it down into a triangle. So all we're doing is flattening this. We're going to match this crease up with this crease here. And nice tight fold. Making sure everything lines up. And we're going to flip it over. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to open up here. And we're going to make sure that we follow the line down the middle. And match those all up. Alright. Okay, so now that we've got our little base, what we're going to do is open end. We're going to take this one side and we're folding it into the center line. So just along the center here, we're going to fold it down so that it's the close point is the nice tight corner. And we're going to go fold it down all the way, nice tight crease. And then we're going to unfold that and do just like we did with the other fold. We're going to open this one up. And we're going to fold it just like this. And we're going to make this point line up with that point. And we're going to fold it down. And it makes a little triangle. So when we do that, we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take this one here. And we're going to fold it to the center. Just like so. And we're going to open it up just like that. And do the same thing. Open it up. Make it nice and folded. And push down really hard. Make sure they're nice and tight. And you should have two. What I'm going to get you to do is fold this one over on itself. Flip it. And what's going to happen is this is going to fold in on itself. And we're going to flip this one back over like this, so that you have two new flaps. So once you have your two new flaps, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold into the center. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to open it up. We're going to flatten it down. And we're going to line them all up nice and neat. And push down. Get a nice crease on that. And there you go. Once you do that, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And you should end up with all four sides done. So we're going to open that up again. And when you're doing this, make sure that the inside here, make sure that these don't separate. So if you have to, you can hold them down while you push this. And then just fold those down. And there you have triangle. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 points, right? Once you have that, you're going to open end towards yourself. And we're going to fold just the top flap to the center. And I'll do the first one so you can see the angle. Just like that. So you have the open end here. You're going to go down. And we're going to do the same thing onto the other side. Just like that. And we're going to flip it over. We're going to do the same thing to this side. Just want one. There you go. Alright. So once you have these two, you notice that you still have these flaps on the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this into itself, and we're going to fold this one over. So now we have a nice flat surface again, and we're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip this one over on itself, and we're going to bring this one to the front. So now we have the two big ones that need to be folded, and you should have two little ones on the inside. So we're going to do the same little fold. We're going to follow the same direction, and you should end up with all four sides folded the same way. Just like that. So once you've had all four of these done, we're going to fold this in half so that it matches up on these corners. Just like that. And then unfold it and do the opposite direction. And the reason you do this is it gives it a nice tight crease along here. So once you've done this fold, it'll actually show up right here. So when you do this fold later, it's already a nice fold. The other reason we do that is we're going to open these up, and we're actually going to follow this crease and open this all the way open. All the way to this line that we just made. We're going to fold it back on itself so it'll actually touch this other tip. And when you do that, this wants to spread open, and you're going to let it. So what you're going to do is reverse fold on that side, and reverse fold on that side. And it'll actually end up just like that. So all I did was pull the one end, force it to this side, and then fold these down. And once you've done that on the one side, flip over, do the same thing. And because we've already got this fold, we're just going to follow the fold, but go in the opposite direction. So we're going to take this, open it nice and wide, don't go past that line we made earlier, and then reverse this fold on both sides. And once you've done both sides, you just meet the middle, tip to tip, and press down. Just like that. Once you've done the two, you still have these two here. What we're going to do is we're going to fold this back to the front, and we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing to this. And like we do with everything, we're going to fold this over on itself and bring this one to the front, flip it over, fold this in half, and bring this to the front. So we're going to do the same thing we just did to the other two. Open it up again, nice and easy. Don't pull too hard, you just kind of have to wiggle the paper until it cooperates and goes in the direction you want it. Once you've got that, reverse your fold, and just like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And voila. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull this one up so that it meets up again with the other two. Same thing here. I'm going to fold it back on itself. So now, if you look at it from this direction, you should end up 1, 2, 3, 4 points again. Okay? Once we're done that, we've got the unopened end and the open end. We're going to fold this into the center, all the way down to the unopened end. Make sure it's the unopened end, not the open end, so that you have your nice tight angle. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. And for those of you who have watched me all week, you know we're going to do the same thing to the other ones. So we're going to do that to the other side. And once you have those, we're going to fold them in on itself. Bring this one to the front. Flip it over. Fold this one in half. And bring this one to the front. So now you have two narrow on the inside, and you have your two big ones on the outside. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold these narrow. And the reason we do this is it makes it a nice tight line down the center here, and it kind of solidifies it and makes it nice and squared off. Otherwise it would be really fat, and you don't want that. And we're going to do the other side. There you go. So you have nice narrow down the sides here. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take these open ends and we're going to fold it all the way down as far as it'll let you go without pulling too hard. So try and get that up to the camera there. So you can see where the crease goes, and it won't let me go any farther. So I'm going to use that as my line. And I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And then we're going to fold it over. Fold it over. And now we have the same thing here. We're going to fold that one over. And we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So what you end up with is 4 little tiny peaks, and you have 4 leaves. Once you have these, all you do is just open the other sides up like this, ever so lightly, and you now have a lily. If you want, you can use a pencil or a pen or a pencil crayon or whatever you have that's round, and you can actually make it into a little iris, a lily into the iris is the first one. You can curl them and make a lily. And once I do that, just give it a little bit of a press, just like that. And you can already see that they're curled, just like that. Or you can leave them flat. So since I've done 2, I'll do the other 2, because otherwise it would look kind of funny. And voila. So they're nice and little rounded. You can make them more curly if you want. I used a big pen just because that's what I had. But you can do them so that they're really tight curls and they curl in on themselves much better. And you can play around with it to get the angle however much you want. And then if you want, you can use pipe cleaners. And I actually happen to have green pipe cleaners, which was very fortuitous. So all I did was I wanted it very short, so I cut them in half. And all you do is just kind of roll it in on itself a little bit, and it makes a little bit of a big blob at the end. You can make them shorter, longer, however you want. And all you do, stick it through the end, and you don't have to press very hard, and then just pull it down all the way to the bottom. And you now have a stem. So I did these last night, so I can make a bouquet, and I did them various lengths so that they don't all stick up at the same time in the same spot. And there you go, a little bouquet. And if you want, you can actually wrap one of these around, put it in a vase, and there you go, little bouquet of flowers. So that's that one for today. Tomorrow I'm going to do a nice little quick one. The reason I'm going to do this one is you can actually use it to make different designs. So what we're going to do is I'll show you how to do this one. Most of the designs use about 8 of these little double diamonds, as they're called. But you can make little coasters, or you can put them together in a circle and make a wreath. So this one's really fun to do. You can play around with it and make different designs. So I'll show you this one tomorrow. And thank you very much for watching.